Extraordinary scene from the terrains of KNUST. I am in the person of Augustine Kwashi, and I have here with me a group of KNUST students, both from the field of sociology as well as social work. But before we go ahead to talk about the main theme for today, I would like to introduce these two gentlemen I have here with me. Please tell us your name and then the course you pursue.
So I am Charles Boateng, a level 200 student of field sociology.
Okay, I'm a person of Francis Edison, a third-year student reading PA Social Work.
Okay, we are very glad to have both of you here with us on this very platform. And I'm privileged to have both of you, pursuing your course in the field of sociology and social work, which gives me the guarantee that relative to the theme of today, you'll be able to throw much light on what we are about to talk about. So the question for today, is there truly a manifestation of pigment relative to the work categories of people, specifically in Ghana? But before we tackle this particular theme, I would like us to make an inference from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 23, which has to do with the fact that each and every one of us within the system has a right to work without discrimination. So before we tackle that, I would like you, my gentleman, Master Francis, throw a bit much light on, the concept of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Then we take it from there.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mr. Augustine. This Declaration of Human Rights has been ratified by 193 countries by now, and it was drafted in the year 1948. And the main purpose of this declaration is to safeguard the rights of every individual in this world, so that we enjoy our freedom of expression, association, movement. So imagine in the country without a law that govern that country, how would it be? So the UN General Assembly meeting that was held in this year, 1948, so after this document to protect every individual across the world. Though it has been in the existence for so many years, and it's not all countries that have ratified, but it is assumed that all countries that ratify this document make it effective in their context that they find themselves. So in Ghana have ratified this document. So we expect that all the 30 articles, the document contains 30 articles, of course. So all the 30 articles, we expect that as Ghana has ratified this article, we see it working effectively in our existence.
That's wonderful. But I heard the frequent use of the rectification concept. Now, I know some people out there might question the fact that what does it at all mean for a country to be signed on to this?
As a country to sign this document, meaning you agree to protect your people. So you are going to use the 30 articles in this document that we are talking about to protect your people from any harm or abuse.
That's wonderful. So specifically, any country that has ratified this particular document, what it means is that this country has agreed onto the terms and everything that has been stated within this declaration, right? That's wonderful. Now, back to the main thing for today. We are saying that is there truly a manifestation of payment relative to workers within this category? Our main focus is on the working aspect of people. So if countries have rectified this particular document within their various contexts that they find themselves in, then it means that in one way or the other, these countries are expected to abide by these statements that are put within this declaration. Now the question has to do with, is there truly a manifestation? I would like to come to you, Master Charles.
Okay, so in our Ghanaian context, it is not fairly true or entirely true. So let's take the formal sector as an example, the national service, those offering the national service. So we know they are on the pay of 599 Ghana cedi. And looking at, if you consider their transportation, what they are going to eat, and some even have to go to the extent of renting houses, which if you calculate the allocated budget they will be earning yearly, it isn't fair.
Okay, that's amazing. Having been mentioned of formal sectors, I want us to focus a bit more on that. You see, people within the formal sectors, time and again, people are struggling to find themselves in, the offices of government, a whole lot. But only to realize that when you get to that juncture, people find it problematic receiving their payments. And most of the time, this is what leads to the striking and all that. So having made mention of this formal sector, I want you, Mr. Francis, to throw much light on that.
Thank you. We are using the Article 23 to do our discussion. We are using the Article 23 states that everyone has the right to work without discrimination and under favorable condition as well. So my brother said about NSS people or personnel and their allowances that they are receiving. So I will take it from there. Then I will continue. So to talk about the reflection as to whether these people, the work that they are doing, the money that they are giving them, is it a reflection? It's no. To me, it's no. Why? Because assuming you giving me 559 Ghana cedis as a service personnel, how am I going to spend it? Let's do a calculation here. At the year, if you do the proper calculation, at the year, the person is receiving less than 7,000 Ghana cedis. And let me use example so that we understand this scenario clearly. I have a friend who is a teaching assistant, and the hostel that the person is living, the person is paying almost 4,500 Ghana cedis. So imagine you giving me less than 7,000 the whole year, and then I'm paying 4,500 as my hostel fee. How much am I going to depend on my fee? So when you take this article, which states that you have equal rights to work and then to work under favorable conditions, and then the article also says that you should get equal pay for equal work. In our Ghanaian context, I think we are failing to do that.
That's being said, I don't want us to veer from the main thing that we're talking about, but that also contributes greatly to our discussion, and I would like us to measure too. See, specifically from your perspective, the main focus of analysis is relative to the fact that these funds that are being given, or these salaries that are being given to these service personnel, is inadequate. Yes, exactly. But I would like us to also tackle the fact that are there, instances in the first place where, alongside the fact that people are receiving inadequate salaries, are there instances that people don't receive the salaries at all?
That's funny, right? It's something that we need to talk about. It's funny though you need to get your pay when you do something or when you work for someone.
Yeah.
But it's not, I cannot say people are not receiving their salary or their allowances when they work. But what I can say is it delays. It delays. Let me use this man as an example. I like him so much. Toba Beta once said that if to love each other is a job, then the happiest life you have is your salary. So if I have worked for you, what will make me happy is my work. So it's my salary, it's my salary. So talk about this. If my salary is not coming, maybe 3, 4, 5 months, and my salary has not come, then I will not be happy. Though it will come. The NSS personnel that we are talking about their salaries, my brother said some delays. Yes, you can work for maybe 3 months, 4 months, then you receive the first month. That doesn't mean that it has not come. You are not receiving at all. But it delays.
Master Charles, please share with us a few more things on this particular regard.
So let's take our nurses and teachers as an example. So we know there have been demonstrations here and there in the country regarding salaries. So like my brother said, you can't work without pay. The pay will come, but as to how fast the pay comes, that's the problem we are facing in this country. The nurses could go 4 to 5 months without receiving salaries. Yeah.
Having on this concept of payments within the formal sector, I would like us to veer a bit and move towards the informal sector. You see, time and again, when we are talking about unemployment, unfair salary that are being given to people. We do that at the expense of the informal sector. We fail to consider the fact that people, people are finding themselves in areas that do not necessarily begin as formal. People may find themselves in areas that are not specifically the governmental offices. You get it? So we want to, gel our attention to the informal sector.
To me, I would say yes. We have a lot of people within this informal sector. But most of the times, we ignore them when we are doing these discussions. But it's very good that you have brought this to on board. Thank you very much for that question. Let's tackle it from housekeepers. Those who are serving as housekeepers, and then those who are serving as a security men. Popularly in Ghana, we call them gate men. Have you ever think of them? When did you hear a policy maker formulating policy for them concerning the work that they are doing and concerning the salary that they are earning? We don't normally talk about those things. But let's look at the amount that even they receive there. I don't think that our Ghanaian society, the policy that we are making, we add it or we include their views in our policy that we are formulating. Taking the housekeepers, as I said, for instance, they are serving as a housekeeper to earn an amount, not just to keep the house clean, provide food, shelter, and those things, to cook for the house and other stuff. We need to think about their welfare. And then the welfare comes in money. The money also is one part of their welfare because they are going to depend on this money for their survival, buy the things that they need. But most of the people receive as low as 450 cedis as a monthly salary. And for that one not being the problem, the article that we are using also mentioned of working under favorable conditions. Do you know most of these people are working under unfavorable conditions? Of course, yes. Because some even go ahead to experience sexual exploitation and abuse. Not talk about the emotional and psychological, because they don't have to say within the environment they are working, but they are working. So how can we see these people working? And as a country, we call ourselves a signatory to this document that we are discussing about within our context, and to the topic on the board we are talking about. So for me, when you go to the formal sector, it's a little bit okay. But when you come to informal sector, that's where our focus should be.
Could we say that, or should we say that the government should rather establish a policy that includes, the welfare of, gatesmen, like specifying gatesmen and all that within the policy? Or should we say that there should rather be an enforcement where people who are employers specifically, who employ these people within their areas, put in the necessary measures to ensure there is a favorable condition in which they are working?
Okay, to me, I would say that you can't force the government to let those who employ these people we are talking about to pay them a certain amount. But what the government can do is to collaborate with these informal sectors to ensure that the amount that they are paying, we have the daily rate that we expect every person to earn every month, every day. And this amount, the government is not the one that regulating the informal sector, but the government have a hand in that. The government can collaborate with them to bring up policies that will ensure that maybe you can't pay the person within this amount. So the government needs to work hand in hand with the informal sector, not the focus to be on the formal sector. So to conclude on the informal sector, to me, I think that it is the duty of the government to work hand in hand with the informal sector and then to ensure that they brought up a proper policy that will protect these people that they find themselves within the informal sector.
Wonderful. So, having tackled this formal and informal sector, generally and conclusively, what would you say that should be the measures that should be put in place generally to ensure that indeed Ghana has been a signatory to this particular document, we are ensuring that indeed there are favorable conditions that have been provided for both people within the formal sectors and the non-formal sectors.
Let me start with saying that I think people in this country even don't know that Ghana has ratified the bill. So, my own perspective, the first thing that we should do to fulfill this document we are talking about and the topic that's on board, we should do proper advocacy. This is a form of advocacy we are doing. I know people are watching this show and we are letting them know they have the kind of right to work, the money they need, and then under a condition, for a proper and a favorable condition. So there should be a proper advocacy about these articles that we have. Let the country itself adapt the foreign system. You see, in the foreign system, in Europe, some of the countries pay based on the number of hours that you work. So for that one, it will be very difficult to say that I work for 2 hours and you pay me 1 month, 1 hour. So we can't do as they are doing, but we can start from somewhere.
This problem. So I'm very appreciative for having both of you here to share your insight based on this particular matter. Thank you very much.
So in all, basically this video was meant to create public awareness on this Universal Declaration, and the article that we chose was Article 23, which talks of right to work under favorable condition without discrimination. So it's not only the duty of the government to alarm this document to the people to be aware of their rights. Let's we, the social work people out there, also do our best to educate people for them to know their rights. Because if we leave this work to the government alone, it can't be possible. So I urge all social work students and then their practitioners, the professionals, to also do their best. Though they are doing their best, but we need to do more so that we let people know that they have a right, and then it's our responsibility to educate them. Thank you very much. Let me use this opportunity to greet all members within the Sociology and Social Work Department, especially my head of department, Professor Esmeralda, and my human rights lecturer, Dr. Bollard Foucault. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch this video. Bye-bye.